Hi, Roanita. It is so good to see your face. It has been too long.
Hey Julie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's get stuck in with my first question. Tell me your early days of life. Where was God in kind of your everyday experience?
Okay, so growing up, I'm from a West Indian family. I'm half Grenadian, half Trinidadian in descent, and I probably had more influence from my mum's side of the family in terms of my faith anyway. So my grandparents, who were together like 54 years, um, staunch Roman Catholics. So they grew up in a British colony, and so Roman Catholicism was their religion from they were very little, and they passed it on to us as a family. So I've had, I've been baptized, I've had my Holy Communion, and then I even did my confirmation at the age of 15. So God has always been in my life, but I wouldn't say I've had intimacy with God.
The place that you met God in, really, where you really got that close relationship with him, it wasn't a good place, was it? Tell us more about that.
So I came to faith after a really long battle with depression. I was probably depressed, I would say, looking back, well over a year. Wow. And I came out of just bad relationships, bad situations that caused me to just feel so down. I'd also come out of university and was struggling to get a job and just didn't really know what on earth I was going to do with my life. I had this great degree and that was great, but I didn't really know what I was going to do and what was next for me. And I wasn't where I expected that I should be by that stage. And I was just low. I was so low. It was so bad to the point where I'd get up in the morning and I wouldn't even want to open up the curtains. And I think it took I tried to do lots of different things to deal with the depression. I used to smoke weed back in the day. And even doing that, trying to smoke weed before I went to bed at night so that it would knock me out, so I wouldn't have to get up and feel the same depth and despair every single day. And it was hard. And so I didn't come to God out of a good place. I was really crying out for something more than what I was experiencing. I knew there was more and I felt there was more, but I just didn't know how to get to it or to access it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people listening probably are in the same place as you. Like they feel like there's something more, but they're not sure how to get to it. So what was it that happened that brought you to a place where you were able to get to that more?
I had a good friend of mine who decided that she could see the state I was in, and she knew I needed something, so she bought me a book, and it was called The Power of a Praying Woman by Stormy O'Martin. Mm-hmm. And it was just a book of prayers for just Christian women, anyone that's sort of on the beginning of their faith journey. And it was only a few short chapters a day. You could read it in 10 minutes and it had a prayer at the end. And I just remember one day being in my room, just reading this book and just felt like I was eating it for breakfast, just could not stop reading. She had suffered so many just really challenging situations, depression and abuse in her life. And it gave me the first beginnings of hope that there was something better for me.
Wow.
But that book sparked a search for me. And then I basically was on a bus about a week later, and I was going past the church that had been mentioned to me by the mother of one of my younger sister's friends. And they had a massive Alpha Course banner on the side of the church, and it just caught my attention. And I took down the information and basically ended up going to the Alpha Course and coming to know Jesus through the Alpha Course.
You met God 16 years ago. What has changed, and how is life different now?
I think the biggest thing that changed is that Jesus gave me hope again, hope that life could be better, hope that there was something more for me, that I always felt like there was something more, but I did not know how to access it. I tried to get, to get joy out of life through raving, through doing drugs, smoking weeds, through relationships, and it didn't fill me. I tried really hard. But life now is so different. And I say, not that life's easy, but that because I have him with me every single day, I get up. The first thing I do is I speak to God. It's not my time with God isn't limited to a little prayer book or, time on a Sunday in four walls. Actually, it's a living, breathing relationship every single day. As soon as I open my eyes and I have consciousness, I'm speaking to the Lord. Wow. Throughout the day, I'm talking to him. I'm asking for wisdom on decisions that I'm making or things that I'm doing, but asking for direction, asking him to help me, to deal with, my own character issues at times. But and I get so much in return from God. I get so much peace and I get so much joy, and most importantly, I get so much acceptance. I did not feel fully accepted until I met God, and I don't think I even fully accepted myself as I was, and I can say that I do now, and that's been the most beautiful thing that has happened to me since I've come to Christ.
That is amazing. Such a change from being in the room every day with your curtains shut, not even able to get out of bed, to just being able to get up first thing in the morning and have someone to talk to who knows you and loves you and accepts you. I mean, what a contrast. Ro, thank you so much for your honesty and sharing your story with us. It's just so encouraging, even just for me, to hear people's stories of how God has met with them, brought them out of darkest places into new life. And yeah, thank you.
Okay.